And joining me right now here in West Palm at Turning Point is John Strand. John, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Allison.
You have been such a source of strength for so many people in the J6 community. I know that you had some tough blows at the end of May, June. What's the latest with your case?
So my trial happened in September of last year, convicted of all 5 charges, including the 1512 felony charge carrying 20 years of prison, potentially. And then I was sentenced on June 1st to almost 3 years prison and 3 years probation. And then recently told to report to prison on July 25th, which is in about a week.
Okay, so you were escorting...
Yeah, not only did I not do anything wrong, I was actually supposed to be there because I was doing my job. I was a security guard for a scheduled speaker at a rally with a government-approved permit weeks in advance. So this was just a day in the office, literally, for me. And we were scheduled to be right on the northeast corner of the Capitol building. Of course, the crowd swelled very large. It became confusing because apparently they didn't set the stage where they were supposed to. We didn't know or understand why that was all happening. And we got surrounded by a truly large, energetic crowd that eventually pushed us up towards where the door was. And then the doors opened from the inside, which was not our fault or our expectation. It just happened, and people basically by vortex were swept in, including us. We couldn't have stopped going in even if we'd wanted to.
Okay,
so
you
that's
swept
inside the building, and we then spent the next 40 minutes trying to find out how to get out of the building. It was chaotic. It was confusing. There were people coming in from multiple directions, but we couldn't find a usable exit for some length of time. But when we did, and cops asked us to leave and made it possible to leave, we happily, peacefully left. So we never at any point committed any criminal act of any kind. And I was unwilling to admit to guilt that is inaccurate. I did not commit a crime, and I would not take a plea where I said that I did something that I didn't do. So
at this point, you're expected to show up at a federal prison in 1 week?
Yeah.
And
I was convicted on all charges. I was sentenced to almost 3 years in prison, and I'm appealing every charge. I asked the judge to suspend sentence or allow me to stay on bail and continue to work pending the appeal. The judge briskly declined that.
So what happens in a week?
I go to prison for almost 3 years.
I mean, I don't even know what to say to that, because I know that there are people sitting in prison right now
that have been there for almost 3 years already.
What is your understanding as to what's happening?
My understanding is pretty clear. We're in the latter stages of a progressive Marxist infiltration of our governments and of our culture. And so those are working in tandem to lead us to a place where propaganda is reality, and the government is deemed to be God. And so if you really undress it, that's what's happening. And we're starting to see that operate now in the open. So they're openly throwing people in prison as political prisoners. They won't admit to that. They'll continue to lie or shade the truth, or in other ways deceive and distort what's going on. But that is what's happening. So
is there anything that can prevent you from going to prison in a week?
I mean, theoretically, not really, but what people could do is put more pressure on Congress, which I think they should be doing, because Congress is the direct connection to the people. So you vote them in or out next cycle, and every congressperson who doesn't scream bloody hell about J6 should be voted out and replaced with someone who will.
What is the deal with now Ray Epps? He's been charged
highly suspicious and seems to be favored and protected by the system, by the establishment, by the corrupt FBI. So I don't know him personally, and I don't know enough about his story to really make a comment other than he's clearly not an honest broker, nor is the government, who is clearly shielding and protecting him.
Well, John, so many people are praying for you, and it's really inexplicable. We don't understand how people could be sitting in prison for years, how you could be caught up in this situation and have to show up to prison. It's like out of a movie.
It is. Not a good movie, but the movie people should watch is The Matrix, because that's what we're experiencing is a mirage. There is a contrived reality that people think they see and feel, and they buy into the message of that reality. But that is the Matrix programming. It is not God's reality. And God's reality will always win eventually. So the longer people stay hypnotized by that Matrix, the more damage the Matrix can do. So it's up to every single person individually to red pill and react to that Matrix and break it down one glitch at a time.
Well, John, thank you so much for speaking with us today. And of course, we're praying for you and hoping for the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless you guys. God bless the United States of America.